weighing lots of crack cocaine?
No, this is the closest thing I have to my Halloween costume as early as it is, which I'll explain in a moment.
Well, this is my Halloween costume.
This is your Halloween? It's pretty much mine at
This is
this
my
point.
Halloween costume right here.
Ah,
I wear the same costume every year.
I wear black on the outside, because black is
My
how I
costume is
feel.
myself, and I haven't been myself in years. It's a Zen costume.
Wow. Our feature tonight is so incredibly zen, and I'm not even able to applaud appropriately, so I'm going to have to put down my costume scales. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Chicago Gallery right here at Gallery Cabaret. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Now I have to get my scales. Because people are like, what are you, weighing crack? No, this is the closest thing I have for a costume. This is as close as I get to Halloween. I am Justice. Which is why I have soldiers on one side and statues of liberty on the other, and it always seems that either the oppression is heavier than liberty, or men always outweigh the women, or however you want to look at it. And I can be, they say justice is blind, but I swear I'm not. That's why I'm not wearing a blindfold. But hi, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for coming here so incredibly much. I feel triple plus bad because I'm not quite sure if one of our features is going to be able to make it here in time. GPA, the Poetic Unsub, was our original feature for this evening, and I know that he has later than scheduled himself for hosting some sort of event that runs until 9 o'clock. So I'm not sure if he's even going to be here, but I can scream extra loud for our Zen master in his costume. So for our feature tonight from Charlie Newman from New York, come on everybody! Woo! And you guys are lucky because we're even starting earlier than usual, but his feature is not going to be recorded. So everybody that filters in throughout this evening, they are going to get this thing and nobody else is going to be able to check it out. So lucky you guys, you've got it really going on there. But he's like, where's for me? I wanted to start with a brand new piece. I kind of wish that Bob Lawrence was here, just because this is science or whatever. And this is like the latest thing that I just wrote, and I thought that this would be appropriate for some reason. And it is called Junk. We all think we're all so important, all the way down to our DNA. But for all of our chromosomes, all of our genetics, and our glorious genome, well, if you look at it closely, if you look all the way down to our DNA, you'd be stunned to see how much of what we're made of is just junk. Yeah, I know, we've got so much DNA, we're such complex creatures, but think of it this way. A simple worm has maybe 7% junk DNA. A fruit fly, maybe 3%. And then there's us humans with our big brains. And our junk DNA seems to go off the charts. What a fun phrase, junk DNA. Because after discovering the helixes that make us, we found sequences with no discernible function. And we love the label junk DNA. Maybe it's a sign that we're all hoarders at heart. Maybe we all want more and everything we get has to be bigger and better even if we don't know what it's for. Because, I mean, even a newt has a genome 25 times longer than ours. What does that say about what we're made of? Us little creatures compared to the rhinos and elephants using our big brains to stay on top of the food chain over those deadly panthers, lions, tigers, and bears. Look at how we've won with our opposable thumbs. We help 200 species go extinct every day. Wow, what warriors we are. Species on Earth haven't gone extinct like this since the dinosaurs. Wow. what warriors we are. Because we think we're all so great with our opposable thumbs and our really big brains. But when we look at it all microscopically, we become smart enough to know our own DNA, and we start to wonder how smart we really are when we see how much of what we're made of is really just junk. Thank you. Go on a lot of road trips, and what do? We take audio books along with us, and what do I have? E equals mc squared, learn about Einstein, or learn about the Supreme Court, or we get all these little brain things to go through, and I'm like, what, there's that much junk DNA? And I just start writing. So, I'm trying to remember from the list. I want everybody to give tons, I believe, from my memory, I think Dan Weinberg was the first guy that I saw on this in this whole place, and you're chomping on stuff. So, if you guys are ready for a great open mic, I would like to give a big shout out for Dan. Are you cool? Come on up here, my love. Are you good? Awesome. I'm like, which one was it? I can't remember off the top of my head. So I'm going up over this. Oh, well, then Bob's next. Sorry, I just screwed that all up.
It's all right.
That's what I get for not having my precious list.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody.
Yo!
Hi!
Yo!
Yeah, hey. We got a big crowd. Okay. One person is not entitled to so much happiness, said the pessimist. The world is a vale of tears, said the Catholic. The world is not a bed of roses, either, said the Jew. The glass is half full, said the optimist. The breasts cannot be held by the bra, said the realist. So the chivalrous man offered his hands as a surrogate. The woman screamed bloody murder but didn't cry a single tear. Thank you. The fantabulous poet created a world where smiles infected every crook, nook, and cranny, while taking up residence in vacant lots with spectacular views of the blues. Nothing was spared. The trips were all prepaid, pre-washed, and guaranteed to preserve the smile quota. Thank you. Why is it dark? Is Jagger painting again? Is there a warrant out for his arrest? People get fired from their jobs every day. The world is a grotto. Soliciting and gambling will be protected by the powers that be. Thank you. Dinner at 6-ish. Greatish. Liberation. Saul Steinberg draws at 7. Except he's dead. So he'll draw slowly and smell. But the New Yorker calls. Ring, ring, ring. Saul. Vogenzi. Giglietti. Thank you.
You're just in time.
Just changed. Sorry.
You guys signed up.
Yes, you can sign up, and they're waiting for me to run out of the bathroom. Bob, get on up here. I've just got my change of clothes.
Here I am.
Not you. Who did I forget because I forgot who was first up?
Weinberg. No, Rashkow.
No, he's gonna be in the middle. My lover boy's gonna be in the middle. Are you coming up, my darling?
Me?
You?
Weinberg. Yeah, you. Okay.
Who is that? Who is that coming out up here?
Weinberg's number 2.
Woohoo! Give it up for Bob Weinberg.
All right.
Come close. What do you get for running? Wait.
The poem is called Registered Respiratory Therapist, which is what I do for a living, but it involves a sea tunicate, which is a primitive life form. Apropos, I guess, what Janet was reading about primitive life form. So here's a picture of a sea tunicate.
Talk into the mic, we can't.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to read a poem about what I do for a living, which is I'm a respiratory therapist, but it involves a sea tunicate. The sea tunicate is a primitive form of life, and I just want to show a little picture. You had to do that. Okay. So I may just read this one. Registered respiratory therapist. Oh, little piston that could, oh, little piston that could, get me from point A to point B. Be happy for me today. You've saved my job. More importantly, you've helped me save a life. If I can get to a cardiac arrest right after I punch in. Isn't the heart a bit like a piston? When it falters, the Cadillac in the middle of the expressway goes into idle. Oh, little piston that could, oh, little piston that could, get me from point A to point B. Be happy for me today. Squirt some oil straight up in the air. Be like a sea tunicate full of ocean. A sea tunicate that's rooted to its spot in Big Sur in walking distance from the coast. I shall take my little red sports car up the coast from Monterey to see you. I shall be disdainful of my employer and visit you daily, for you are the archetype for all pistons in the USA. Pudgy little sea tunicate, you've evolved into an objet de style with applications for diameter, but never became a capitalistic warmonger. All your automobiles are domesticated. When I bring nursing home patients down to the sea, there is an aspect of your being that helps me load wheelchair-bound patients into vans and keep them upright.
You're already done.
Yeah, that's a long one. One for me anyway.
I'm used to expecting more and more people that were coming up here. And in light of that, I am going to have to read a couple pieces from the new issue of cc&d magazine. They're not by me, and I'm just picking out really short pieces because I want you guys to hear things from people around the country and some people from the other side of the planet. And no, I haven't read these in a while, so I have no idea what they're going to be like. This is a piece by David Hernandez. He is from...
Oh, not that David?
No. This is the David Hernandez from, like, what state? It's New Mexico, I believe.
Oh, I know.
It's not the same, no.
Southwest. He's left.
He's from the Southwest. I haven't read this in a while. This is called I'm the Example. My right side strikes the left wall, while the left side strikes the right wall. My arms, tied to my chest, struggle to budge from their restraints. I'm locked in a confined cell, free to roam, never to leave. I try to be a good role model, and here I am, in a mental institute, praying for the day I can hold my daughter and never let her go. Keep her as tight as this straitjacket. David Hernandez. And I'm just like looking for the short ones. This one, I've got two short ones here. Maybe I'll read them both. This one is called Life Insurance, and it's by Madison Gardler. I don't know where Madison's from, but this is called Life Insurance. You promised nothing, left me with less. A swollen throat is not a present of any value or real use to anyone held at arm's length, though no sleep, no dreams occurred, closing my windpipe with kisses, wishing I were a boy. Regardless, we see both passengers aboard the same flight that won't land. And if our teeth never make it to shore, the checks will never be mailed. This is Ecstasis or Ecstasis, Exstasis. This is a poem by George Gott. I don't know where George is from, but this is a poem by George and cc&d, the new issue approaching from this. Sorry. There is something, and there is nothing. Have you learned this too? The something says, embrace thy enemy. The nothing says, select thy gun. Love is something, and there is nothing else. George Scott, yay! I know I'm doing 4, but they're not mine, blah, 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 and I'm calling up my lover bug sidekick, Bob Rashkow, next. I'm giving you a heads up for that one. This is a poem. They're like, yay! This is a poem by Gene Wiggins called Cereal Harvest. He felled her over and over, dragged her body through shorn fields. Her blonde hair splayed around her head. Madonna of the cornfields, left for fodder. Ooh, yay, hey guys, hey Stacey.
Is that cereal with an S?
Is it with the cereal? Like, as in this is what you eat for cereal? Or? And hey, I might have to consider, I don't know if we have time, if Dan Weinberg would like to come later, because I've got a strew of his in here, if he would like to read his Loku haikus, which I believe might be appearing in collection books later on this year. But in the meantime, please scream like a big freaking idiot for our handy dandy outro lovely side. Give it up for Bob Rashkow!
$64,000 question is, will the greatest poet alive grace us with his presence tonight?
What, you know,
Or will he not?
He said that he had a thing going on at the same time, and I'm like, what?
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound...
Indeed.
Only if we keep our grade point averages up.
That's right, GPA. Okay. I interrupt this program to report somebody died. Somebody was born. Somebody woke up. Somebody fell asleep. Somebody was kissed. Somebody was hugged. Somebody ate eggs. Somebody defecated. Somebody urinated. Somebody picked up the newspaper. Somebody went shopping. Somebody got married. Somebody gave birth. Somebody had a birthday. I interrupt this program to report somebody recharged their phone. Somebody signed a form. Somebody used sign language. Somebody applied for a job. Somebody lost their job. Somebody lost their mother. Somebody lost their home. Somebody watched an episode on TV. Somebody watched the news. Somebody cooked steak Diane. Somebody drove through for carryout. Somebody did the laundry. I interrupt this program to report somebody burped. Somebody farted. Somebody threw up. Somebody passed out. Somebody got numbnuts. Somebody went to a stand-up night. Somebody went to a 12-step meeting. Somebody sat down. Somebody stood up. Somebody helped an old lady across the street. Somebody slammed the door. Somebody uttered the big F. Somebody had sex. Somebody avoided having sex. Somebody checked a dumpster. Somebody ran away. Somebody came home. Somebody rode the bus. Somebody rode in a limo. Somebody drove a taxi. Somebody rode a bike. Somebody visited the zoo. Somebody visited a museum. Somebody practiced piano. Somebody did a crossword puzzle. Somebody played Monopoly. Somebody played Game of Thrones. Somebody took a walk. Somebody took a drive. Somebody had a vacation. I interrupt this program to report somebody worked overtime. Somebody deposited money in the bank. Somebody said, I love you. Somebody said, see you later. Somebody said, don't forget to call Chris. Somebody said, what's new and exciting? Somebody said, good luck.
I should have left my dress on. I'm on the worm side now, so I am going to then call up a man who's going to talk all about another open mic. And we'd all like to hear all about the schedule, so please give it up for Patrick Hurley!
Yay, Ruffled Feathers is alive again. The Phoenix has arisen. So yeah, after 2 years of poking at one of the 3 partners and owners of Reno, I finally got it. So starting next month on November 10th, the Monday, and then December 8th, we have booked 2 shows, and if it is a nice big following, then we'll go through into 2015. So hopefully with your support we can make those 2 shows enough.
Yay!
Yay! The venue is awesome. If you haven't been to Reno, it is literally right on the corner of Milwaukee and Kedzie, right across the street from the Logan Square L stop. Lots of public transportation access. The venue has a bar, it has food, it's all ages. So if you have older teens that want to come and learn, then that's great. There are no features, there's no money, there's no slam.
And it's awesome. Whenever we were there before, it's awesome. It is. I love it. It's awesome. It's awesome.
So,
go.
How long is the open mic?
from 8 to 10.
How long is each person? Yeah.
Depends on how many people show up.
You round robin it? Is that what you do?
So yeah, I mean the general open mic rules apply. 3 poems. There'll be musicians. I generally try to weave musicians in between poets to give everybody a break from monotone poets or, you know. But we'll see. The last show that I did at the place that was closing was probably the best. We had, I don't know, like 20 performers, and like half of those were musicians, so it worked great. And started getting short story people too that would have, like, in the first half read half the short story, and in the second half read the second half of the short story. Keep you hanging.
Your daughter has to come and play her instrument again.
Or no, she didn't play an instrument, but both of my daughters read.
Oh, they read.
So read their own.
It was their friend who was the musician.
Yeah. So okay. Brand new. Neutral in all. Where is life, my darling? I hold you in my hands, hearts beating, and yet the sun sets on you and me. We are not protected by any privilege or wealth. Death is there, neutral in all, good, bad, just, or not. We hold each other tight, and it is so good. We feel so safe. That is true eternity. That is what all of us long to achieve. Such a comfort can only come from truth. Truth. Truth, come now. Long for the day. She wept. She wept in the morning. She wept in the evening. She wept. Tears, silent, rolling down at unexpected moments. She wept on Tuesdays, just after dinner, at the sight of impending dishes to wash. She wept on Saturday, when the quarters found their way into the basement washer, as detergent made a little mess on the floor, but filled her nose with spring fresh flowers. She wept. She wept On Monday morning, she would rise out of bed, smile on her face, ready to turn it around. As the sheets came to her chin on Monday night, so too the reality that nothing turned far enough around. So she wept, then slept, longing for the day that would not arrive. When the sun rose bright and blinding or dim behind a quilt of clouds, she wept. Safe. If it were coming, would you know it? Walking in the woods, leaves crunch under footfalls, the smell. Crisp air fills lungs, her hair, the scent of autumn. She is in your arms, so small, so small. Tears abate. Your shoulder now damp. Simple, the events of life. Difficult, the events of life. You are her everything. She is in your arms now, safe. Her hair smells of freedom. This is freedom, you think, as she holds you close. Tears abate, your shoulder dirty with snot. Leaves, the scent of leaves in her hair. I love you. I love you too, Daddy. So I have flyers if you didn't get one, and I have books that you can buy if you want. And the flyers are nicely on upcycled grocery bags as well,
Cool.
just like the books.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm using mine as a bookmark for Dan Weinberg, whom has some local haikus in the current issue of cc&d. So after the open mic, if we've got time, I'm going to ask her to read them, because I like to show off my readers and I like to show off cc&d magazine. And in the meantime, I've got to get some more women up here, so please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Lucia Blinn. Woo!
Future developments. I didn't ask where they came from or what they were celebrating. The women in spiky sandals, the men tanned in open shirts. It was twilight at the beach, and I was speechless with loneliness. The dying day often conjures the gloomy plume of Daddy's cigar. Mom sitting finally after long hours of cooking, cleaning, laundry, worry. There too my husband, my daughters, the little red house in the country, fireflies in the darkening, all of them, all of it, gone. The couples wanted their picture against the fiery sunset. They didn't fit the frame. They needed to squish together. Don't leave any air between you. That will come later all on its own. It might have been an engagement party. I might have told them, your marriage will likely be less than bliss. Your darling children will make choices you would not make. One of you will get cancer and die. One of you will be in this alone. Their spirits were merry as they crossed the road back to the black van that would ferry them into the future. Lemmings, mindlessly, spinelessly, we line up in line after line after line for our once, twice, or thrice daily fix. Tall, grande, venti, extra hot, half calf, 3 raw sugars, low fat, no whip, dry, chai, caramel, vanilla, soy, 1 pump, 2 pump, 3 pump, macchiato, mocha, latte, espresso, cappuccino, frappuccino, stupidchino. Yesterday, cigarettes. Today, Starbucks. Tomorrow, lobotomy. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
I know I keep talking.
Always something to look forward to.
I love it. I release books from Scars, as some of you may know, and I do collection books, and I've decided that the annual collection books, because they're only on a need-to-know basis, because there's a lot of redacted material in them, this is a proof copy of them. I've got 2 volumes of them, and this one in my hand actually has material from our next reader in it. But I don't know if he's going to read it, because he's going to read some really cool, probably political and very angry, loud stuff. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Cari Pendergast!
Which one? All right. Yes.
Remembering. 1. Land, sea, air, escape. Was I standing? Did I see it while awake? Or did I dream them? See it painted on film? Some combination? The sky cracked. A human-like figure near a riverbank. A white circle in an eye socket. It looks like a child's wagon floating near a tree bough. Is it just one person paddling a boat coming into view? Faint sound of sirens about a mile away, an arm waving on a hill above a flooded street. Is it a mutant signaling rescuers? Or are their veins, retina, and iris blurred? 2. I see a village, stores open, streets, sidewalks passable. Were there massive suction machines, enough sandbags, strong enough levees, enough trees, wetlands near the shore? Here's 2 in haiku form. Preparing. Ex-pair, mentally prepare faces and voices for the gathering. Well wishes to anyone marrying for the 2nd, 3rd, or 12th time. May this attempt be opposite of these numbers up first roll in craps. Thank you.
I'm gonna have to set stuff up here. I don't know how that stuff is set up, but thank you. I'm sorry I'm running because I'm just looking. Chicken with your head cut off, and I don't know what I'm doing here. If this is cool with everybody, I think I said this at the beginning of the night that I wanted to read this piece, and I wanted Bob Flores to hear it, and he shows up late. So if you guys are cool with this, I'm going to read this poem again. I hope it was all right.
Sorry
You liked it.
I'm tied up today.
This was a poem, as I was saying, we're going on long road trips and I was listening to science shows, equals MC squared, or the history of this, and I'm like, I need to write this. So I wrote up this piece and I call it Junk. We all think we're so important, all the way down to our DNA. But for all our chromosomes and all our genetics and our glorious genome, well, if you look at it closely, if you look all the way down to our DNA, you'd be stunned to see how much of what we're made of is just junk. Yeah, I know, we've got so much DNA, we're such complex creatures, but think of it this way. A simple worm has maybe 7% junk DNA. A fruit fly, maybe 3%. And then there's us humans with our big brains, and our junk DNA seems to go right off the charts. What a fun phrase, junk DNA. Maybe after discovering the helixes that make us, we found sequences with no discernible function. And we love that label, junk DNA. Maybe it's a sign that we're all hoarders at heart and we all want more, and everything we get has to be bigger and better, even if we don't know what it's for. Because, I mean, even a newt has a genome 25 times longer than ours. What does that say about what we're made of? Us little creatures compared to the rhinos and elephants, using our big brains to stay on top of the food chain over those deadly panthers, lions, tigers, and bears. Look how we've won with our opposable thumbs. We help 200 species go extinct every day. Wow, what warriors we are. Species on Earth haven't gone extinct like this since the dinosaurs. Wow, what warriors we are. We think we're all so great with our opposable thumbs and our really big brains, but when we look at it all microscopically, we become smart enough to know our own DNA, and we start to wonder how smart we really are when what we're made of is really just junk. Hope that was all right, or a different pace or something. So now, maybe we'll have science, maybe we won't, but I adore this man. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Bob Lawrence. Yes.
Thanks for reading that. It's sort of like driving to work again and hearing somebody reading to me. Anyway, I have a couple poems. Oh, by the way, I did see an article fairly recently where there may be some kind of function to the so-called junk DNA. Something in.
I think that they're like when they first don't have a clue and then they're starting to figure it out scientifically. So we're smarter than we think we are, or something.
I don't know. It may not be total junk. I'm forgetting to bring the poem I meant to read. Is the unheard poem the same as the sound of one hand clapping? The space between the barks of a barking dog? The unsaid words when you don't know what to say? The dream you can feel but can't remember? The unsaid words when you do know what to say? The 14th way of looking at a blackbird? The letters of a board game tumbling in the dark? Or the music of a rainbow, the wake of a hummingbird, the tang of a heartbeat, the scent of empty space, the footsteps of the dead, the last item in an endless list of possibilities of the impossible? Okay. And here's one that I don't know, makes me think a little bit of Charlie. Free jazz. 1. I am on the cusp of an abyss. Bats soar overhead in multi-directional screech. Spines of light storm the heavens. Tormented tornadoes vaporize my eyes. I feel the quantum pull of the shibboleth. Ambient songs resume with viscous fury. I am ever chain-smoking my own chains. The worst murders occur in intracellular space. 2. A hole in the wall of metaphor. Enter a burst of angel wings. The skies filled with roulette wheels, dancing with gyroscopic precision. On the ground, green double O's wait with anteater anticipation. A flock of childless birds lifts a train made of feathers. 3. Willow leaves ossify exposed flesh. Oceans riddled with pores, sweat, sun-bleached deserts. Carnivorous carrots consume the glass onion, the gas onion, the fast onion, the past onion, the present onion. Ring! Listen to the music of the spires.
Thank you very much. I keep talking about my magazines and blah, 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 but I think the last time this gentleman was here, he read things from the current issue of cc&d, I think, but he's just in cc&d all over the place because he has so much cool, really, really cool stuff. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Bill Yarrow. Woo!
Hi everybody. This is called The City Rises in Me. Cities. I have lived in cities. Habitual, arrogant cities. Circumscribed by cities, on the alert for alacrity, filled with false vitality, rising revised out of history. Burgeoning cities, bloated with stoic pride, notorious for hope, filled with ethical travail. These cities, yes, but also cities reticent, inferential, embedded with desuetude. A decade here, a decade there. To what end? Position. Man needs locus, not looseless in his life. What's a road? A swift excuse for a city at each end. What is not a city? Nothing. Socrates lived in a city. So did Meyer Lansky. The city rose against them. That's what cities do. They rise, sometimes in us, sometimes against us. The city rises in me. I hear its whisper. I ignore its roar. Thank you. This one's called The Sum Above. How many angels can dance on the head of a pinhead? A circus pinhead. Divide that number by 3. Add to that the plaid bravura required to be a husband in the 1980s. Reshuffle the cards you were hiding under the table. In a spirit of cool cooperation, reverse course and make for Isla Morada. When you arrive, ask the pharmacist for the normalizing pills he's holding for you. Drop them down the sewer main. Do this with everything else you have saved. The mandatory is not your friend. Apologize to the floor boss for knowing why. Add that to the sum above. Thank you.
Well, you made it 3 in a row. 3 poets in a row that referred at some point to gaming. Cards, roulette, dice.
That was intentional.
Wow, you guys plotted that out so fascinatingly.
We planned it.
Never know why.
You know, it's really, you say things like that, and it was like Buddha and I did a feature together, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing periodic table poems. And he was like, by the way, I never even looked at what I'm like, if you wanted to know an order so that we seem to work together. And he's like, I never even looked at it. And then when he read them, they perfectly fit. I mean, he mentioned things that I'm like, oh my God, you would think what we planned it. So that's really funny with you guys. Before I call up my Paul Ryan, I love it when he shows up. I was going to read, and I do 2 magazines, by the way. This one is Down in the Dirt magazine, which everybody loves that name, Down in the Dirt. And it gets a lot of short stories and stuff, so there's the challenge, looking for really, really short things. So I wanted to read a couple pieces from different people in this one. This is a very, very, very short prose piece by David Hutt, and it is called Breakfast Companions. It's not the fly's fault. Not really. He wasn't to know he was landing on he didn't know that he was landing on my bacon and eggs and shitting all over my breakfast. He was just hungry, that's all. The bacon and eggs looked as good to him as they looked good to me. And it's not my fault that she left. Not really. I just have a taste of alcohol and wanted to go out on a good drunk. She didn't have any space in her stomach for my well-rehearsed apologies. She said she'd heard them all before, and the promises, too. I ignored the fact that he vomited all over my eggs, and that he shat himself on my bacon that I enjoyed for my breakfast. David Hutt. you get a bug flying it, you don't think about it, you're like, swat away, you got on my food. Well, I'll eat it anyway, right? This is by Lenkite, A. Lenkite. I hope I'm saying your last name properly. This is a piece called Dodgeball. You said my email was bad, and my only response was silence. Got no reason to call anyway, so I'd leave my phone on the hook. I got no reason to write, telling you things you'd only dispute with all this is in your text, all the shit that's in your text messages. I've decided, what's the use? My only hope is in silence and time. My only hope is in silence and time. The art of playing dodgeball when you're dealing with. This one is a piece by Michael Grodsky, and it's called Subliminal. This is your last one from Down in the Dirt. And if anybody's interested in copies of cc&d or Down in the Dirt, you can always go to scars.tv, and there's links right at the top of the pages for both magazines. You can find out these really cool magazines. I have to do my selling thing, sorry. This is Michael Grodsky's poem called Subliminal. The silver dollar my father kept in his pocket is soft and smooth, with the year of his birth faded into the casting. I carry it now along a weathered seam, hoping it will not slip through. I had wanted to dance with indifference, but instead I walk quietly, listening to the white rain he sends to penetrate my coat. Down the dirt, CCD, and if anybody's interested, you can submit stuff to me, and I've got magazines and blah, blah, blah. And, oh my gosh, now this guy that I got all gooey for is going to be coming up next. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Paul Ryan. Paul, my darling. You're never around, like you're always going away. Thank you.
Charlie, long time. Yeah. The computer backup system makes it sound like it's eating the shadows of bugs, and I saw in silence her black car ram the boy on his bicycle, all dressed in black, in the darkness where the sidewalk became the gas station, and he flew up so I thought he was dead. But he's young. So he stood up right away and picked up his mangled front tire and looked at it like it was canned peas for dinner. And the woman came out of her car and saw he was all right. And what happens then when she should be just? But this boy's in shock. So calmly she either buys this night forever, Shirley MacIntyre, October 7th, 2014, or she drives into the darkness of the suburbs' quiet streets. Something whirs, and something sounds like it's spinning in an underground facility 50 miles from Washington, D.C. This is the video, becomes the dream the empire wakes from now. And for me, with the weather cooling through the windows and chances, what the wind is saying and changes, how the window's tune attenuates the cold. The red-winged blacktop bird. When all the saying is said, then nothing to do but go. The road song still stays, sways on this asphalt groove. On blacktop wings the road song sings. We've wings that split its smoke. Our breath is smoke and wings. We are smoke and occlude our song on this gray mirror of the going and the gone. And a red-winged blackbird lights on a bouncing cocktail, watches us pass and watches the grass and sings to each a different song. The sky today is like a forest of smokes. Even the grass pours smoke into the sky. The blackbird sings, from his throat pours smoke. We sing, and from our throats pours smoke. On the road song wings sway, wings, one near and one distant, whose voice is between us, who sings of smoke and wings and names of distances, whose voice says nothing anymore, and no sound comes but smoke. The road song whose name is suddenness, who is smoke, and is this suddenness of wings. And we in this passing car pretend that the road song speaks, that the road song Smoke says that the road will never end, that the road song sings the smoke will never end, and we in our passing car watching the blackbird bobbing on the cattail, the way a machine will live its life backward. As the windshield cracks and the smoke pours in, and the blackbird and the road song sing, from out of our windows pours smoke, from out of our eyes and ears and fingers pours smoke. The road song sings from out from our windows, pouring out song and smoke. The red-winged blackbird lets go of us. He's lifted by song and smoke. The red-winged blackbird says all of that was saying is said. The red-winged blackbird sings, whose roads are wings. The road we're on lifts, and suddenly we lift. The road song sings its strongest now. We are silence in the smoke, and the blackbird leaves us with our wings. We flutter in the forest and smokes.
You should do an open mic. Clapping by smacking your side and don't let go of your beer. Because this is an awesome bar. Sorry. I'm like, yeah. That was very cool. Thank you very much. And I think more people. Sorry, that was really loud and I apologize. I was just stunned. More people showing up? What? And now I'm going to ask. I know I have published poetry from this man, but I cannot remember from which issue. So I hope that Tom Schaffer's ready to come up here, my darling. You probably don't even remember what issue it was in either. It doesn't matter because your writing's awesome. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Tom Schaffer. Woo! While he's walking up here, I can remember. I don't know, it's my beer stand, so it can be your beer stand.
It's January.
It's next year. Well, that's why.
It's exclusive. It's not out yet.
It's not even out yet, you awesome. I want to get this really cool cover if I'm trying to remember correctly. That's a design. Never mind. You're awesome. Come on.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hello, class. This is the writer's chair. This is the throne of God, I thought, and I expected to hear seraphim squealing, Hosanna, holy, holy, holy are you, for you have come in the name of... I hear nothing, though, not the trumpet and clouds and light like an empty bottle of beer. I am become deaf and dumb, and I try but create nothing of worth. I am no God, though I play him poorly, hubristically, because I made my own seraphs, soldered the wires to my heart so they could swing and sway and worship me, but they fell, and now I have nothing except an ashtray, constantly sick and vomiting, and empty beer cans, and squash strewn on the floor, empty packs of cigarettes. And the only thing I managed to create is through masturbation and cum on the paper. And even that was made with the fire I stole from Prometheus.
You're making me sad. Well, and I'm going to be pointing at the man that's going to be next, and he didn't even get a chance to tell him, and Tom's in the way, and I don't even have my awesome little bag, so I'm giving you a warning. You're the man that's up next to you, my darling. And now I got the bag. Sorry, this is what happens. People are like, I'm just going to do one and go, and I'm like, what? I can't. I need to be more prepared for stuff. I guess. I should be ready at everything on a drop of a hat. But the first thing I'm going to do is bring out the precious purple bag. Dun dun dun. Da la la. Bum 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 bum. It's hungry. It is hungry. Because this is supposed to take an awful lot of money for the now retired Charlie Newman for a feature. So, give it up for our feature this evening. Which all of you lucky dogs are going to be able to see. This is quite an exclusive event. Because, like the NSA, I like to record everything you do. And that is why this open mic is being video recorded. However, our feature this evening, Charlie Newman, has to not be recorded. So that means that you guys are going to be the exclusive ones that get to hear this performance. And that means this man deserves a good amount of money because nobody else is ever going to hear this again. So I'm passing this around. Put your life savings into it. And in the meantime, please,
the man who runs another open mic that I'm afraid I don't get to enough, but Vittorio Garli, my darling, thank you for coming here. Please give it up for Vito himself, Vittorio Garli!
I took a real rejection letter and I kind of messed around with it for a while. This is called rejection letter. Dear Mr. Man, hey dude, thank you for giving us a chance to consider your compromising photo, bathroom graffiti, poster art, restaurant menu parody, pillow book, used toilet paper. Poem titled, Celebrating the Greatness of My Perfect Grandson in 90 Verses. Elegy for My Dear Departed Pet Maggot. Why I Love Lana Del Rey's Performance on SNL. Feel free to substitute Ashley Simpson. For publication in our fine journal, New Neo-Post-Colonial England Review, A Girly Boy's Life, Amethyst, Arsenic, Atomic Armadillo, Tri-Weekly Poetry Mashup Journal of Epistemological Inquiry, the New Journal of Masturbatory Villanelles. I apologize for the long wait in reply. Breaking Bad was on. I was busy twiddling my thumbs and sexting. I had to devote time to my favorite social cause, the Free Charlie Manson movement. I was mourning the death of Tommy Ramone. I was celebrating Mussolini's birthday. I really don't care that you had to wait. Your work, they give a positive response from our readers. Nausea, headaches, burps, hiccups, indigestion, and bowel movements. Helped me sleep for the first time in days. We had decided against publishing just one in the end, because it does not meet our present needs. And it's easier to read than Frank O'Hara. It shows no Iowa workshop or language poetry influences. Kevin Stein didn't like it. It failed the coin flip. You're not in a secret society. You belong to the wrong gender, generation, orientation, or ethnic group. I promised my girlfriend I'd get her work in this time. You said a naughty word. The transgendered, libertarian, Wiccan royalist, Intuit, albinos for Romney theme issue was last month. You are not a subscriber. You're on the wrong side of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And we wish you the best in placing this work on your refrigerator, in one of our no account inferior and competitors' publications, in the garbage, in our publication, if it's still around after you're famous and dead. If your work ever rises to the level of competence, please feel free to try us again, submit more work, walk past me without saying hello, like us on my Twit face, drive your car into Lake Michigan. Sincerely, we're probably lying. Friendly face with elitist editors. Thanks. And this one made it into a approaching front. Has some good works by some other people here.
Yeah.
And also kind of a disturbing story about a girl who gets in trouble when she goes out. A short story. But anyway, this is my dead poem, which I did at Chicago Calling. Saturday Night Live is dead. The Grateful Dead is dead. The Tea Party is dead. Occupy is stillborn. Time Magazine argued that God is dead. Bela Lugosi is undead. Time Magazine argued that God is dead. The music video is dead. Privacy is dead. Utopianism is dead. Literary pleasure is dead. Thanks, Terry Eagleton. Lee Groban, Carlos Cortez, and David Hernandez are dead. The promise of human rights and a fair shake in America are dead. The public option is dead. The tattoos of former rebellion is dead. Obama-inspired idealism is dead. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Most of the Ramones are dead, and their CDs are still on selling well. The possibility of a third party winning a high office is dead. John Coltrane's dream of a new, more spiritual music is dead. Justice is comatose, asked Trayvon Martin. Wicker Park and Pilsen are dead. Tony Blair's promise of a better Britain is dead. Sir Paul's relevance is dead. Morrissey said the Queen is dead. Emo was never alive. The author is dead. The Liszt poem is dead. This is a Liszt poem, by the way. Long live Robots in Hospitals, Miley and Molly, Dubstep, Gangnam Style, Gautier, Underwear worn outside of pants, Packages delivered by drones, Hunger Games, Vampire Juvenilia, Riot Girls getting arrested for using free speech, post grunge, Tattooed Eyes, Putin the Peacekeeper, Bieber getting arrested, Perry, Keisha, Bruno, the language police, ruling academia, homophobia disguised as morality, reality, TV, online social networks, The Manic Pixie Dream Girl disguised as a new girl, corporate rap, manufactured anger, sports as a religion, Match.com, speed dating, combined families, economic exploitation of part-timers, and overseas corporate slavery. Thanks.
Vito appears in and purchases a copy of cc&d's magazine, which is released as an ISBN book through Amazon.com, which is available throughout the United States and this continent, as well as the UK and continental Europe, in a book called Approaching Front. There's my ad campaign. But that's awesome. And I don't have my copy to show off because after I read some things from Twitterati, I'm going to have Dan Weinberg reading his poems from that magazine. So, because I'm all about reading things from books, I'm just going to read a bunch of little ones in here because I can. And because you guys are awesome. I've got a bunch of really short ones, including Like Cheesecake. I have to get the voice on for Like Cheesecake. The area between your neck and shoulder. That space right there that no one thinks about. It's like cheesecake. Sorry, I'm getting all romantic on that one. This one I think sounds like a quote that could have come from Charlie Newman. And that's why I'm going to read it. It's called Opinions. If your aquarium fish die, why don't you just fry them up? So if they're minnows, they're really just crispy and much better tasting than cats. This is what you do with your pets, I guess. I like this one's fun. Called Goth Girl Photographer. In high school, Mom wouldn't let this goth girl photographer wear black to school. Now this goth girl photographer works for a portrait studio with a dress code to wear only black. And the goth girl photographer smiles. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for poems from cc&d from Dan Weinberg. Come on up here, my darling Dan. Woo!
Should be going to my Walmart job very soon. Okay. Phone call upsets me. Oops, I just hung up. My fingers slipped. You can't argue or reason with a schizophrenic. Snow piles up. Excuse me while I create the future. Create. What a wonderful world. Putin pardons Pussy Riot. And cats everywhere celebrate. My eyes stayed open too long. My heart is heavy with cancer. Thank you.
I have a few people that want to, thank you.
You're triple plus awesome. And I have a few people that wanted, they're like, I'm running out there. Do you have time? Are you cool? Or I can call somebody else up there? No. Please, ladies and gentlemen, he's doing stuff off the fly because he's awesome. Give it up for the man himself, Dave Gecic.
People have all heard before, so
but we love it
because I didn't prepare or bring anything, but I had to be here for the great Charlie Newman. The great Charlie Newman.
Yeah.
And
puts his back to you.
And I got some. Yeah, he always does that. Doesn't like me. And I got some JJ news that I wanted to share with everybody. J.J. Jameson is the killer poet who hid out in Chicago for 20 years. And J.J. was supposed to have a parole hearing 2 days ago. And they didn't have all the medical records in. JJ has emphysema pretty bad, and in prison he can't have an oxygen tank in prison. He can have an oxygen tank in the infirmary in the prison, so they could either keep him in the hospital all the time, or release him at his parole hearing. So they're trying to get him released on a medical hardship type thing. So it's possible that in the next parole hearing in December, JJ might be released. And I think it's still a long shot, but it's a possibility. And if he does, he plans on coming back to Chicago.
Oh my God.
Because he considers Chicago home. So if anybody has a place JJ could stay at for a couple months, it would really help him get out of prison. Yes, JJ murdered somebody in 1960, 54 years ago, and in my opinion, he's paid for his crime. Anyways, on the lighter side of the news, there's a new put-ahead publication called Gently Broken by Gregory Curry. And I hope to have, at the very end of next month, a publication event up at Uncommon Ground. So I'm going to try to invite the whole world. The one up in Devon. The one up in Rogers Park. I'm still trying to work it out with them, but I'm going to have some kind of big publication event on a weekend that people could come to instead of at 10 o'clock at night like we recently had one at Weeds. So anyways, what else is new in the poetry news? Anybody else have any poetry news?
I gave you mine.
Okay. Yes, we have a new open mic in town. This is going to be an open mic too, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay. A new open mic in town at Reno. I ain't never been there, but it sounds interesting. What is Reno like?
Food, bar, all ages.
Is there a real stage like there is here?
No stage.
No stage, oh shoot.
Gonna move some tables away and project to the restaurant.
Okay. That's one thing I love about the Uncommon Ground stage up there in Devon. I mean, it's a stage with a great lighting system and a great sound system, and I love to have readings up there. They're a pain in the ass to deal with, though. I mean, if you have a time from 2 to 4, at 3:30 they're saying, when are you going to be done? When are you going to be done? And at 10 minutes to, they're trying to push you out. So, but I hope nobody here from Uncommon Ground tells them I said that. Anyways, I'm gonna do a couple poems. Charlie, what do you want to hear?
I like Omaha.
I don't remember Omaha.
Father's Watch.
Father's Watch. I could do Father's Watch. What else?
Man, I love Father's Watch.
Okay.
Worms.
Worms? Okay, I'll do Worms. Can I do Beasts with Purple Hair?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you remember Beasts with Purple Hair.
Neither do I. I'll only know after I hear it.
Okay. I'm wearing my father's watch. It doesn't fit me very well, and it's not quite my style, but it's my father's watch. It'd be strange if I ever was to take it off. The color of my skin with a silver white ring around my wrist, as fresh as the day I was born. Sometimes it's heavy, so heavy that it draws down my arms, draws down both my arms, so I can no longer fight against what it wants me to do. You see, it's my father's watch, and I don't as much wear it on me as it wears on me. It's my father's watch. Way far down the sidewalk there lives the beast with purple hair, has big teeth and talons too, and I'm sure he'd like to eat up you. But don't be scared, it's very far, too far for your mother's car. Me, of course, I went there twice, riding on some magic mice. These mice were they mostly lice, especially when cooked on ice, and these were mice you couldn't see. Pretty strange for a boy like me. But wait, I forgot about the purple beast. Man, he had a hearty feast of boys and girls and adults too, cooked up in a creamy stew. How did I escape, you ask? Well, I am smart and quick and fast. Just before I was to cook, I squeezed into a cranny nook. What's a cranny nook, you may ask? Well, finding one was quite a task. Just before I was to cook, I squeezed into a cranny nook, and the beast, he stupidly mistook my struggling as that of mice, and so I thought, oh, how nice. So I crept up, and I hit him from behind. I was not being very kind. That is when at last I knew the beast, he was made of purple goo. When I hit him on the head, he oozed onto the floor, quite dead. See, everyone had been too scared of the big sharp teeth he bared, that no one ever faced him strong. They couldn't keep their courage long. Then I freed the girls and guys. They thanked me with grateful sighs. What kid named Lou? Why, he was a gnome, so I let him lead the children home. I double-checked. The beast was dead, so I went home and went to bed. Mama lost her teeth today. They got out of the jar, and no one in the house can find exactly where they are. She thought the lid was screwed on tight when she put them inside. I hope they do not take a bite of mine or Papa's thigh. If you think you can't decide to have it baked or have it fried, I guess it's because you never tried to eat something with worms inside. You know you can't tell by sight because usually it looks alright, but you wouldn't take a second bite, it'd give your mouth an awful fright. For if you bite into a worm deep into its ectoderm, you'll find that it's not really firm, and then it will begin to squirm and yuck! So make a choice, and don't be late about what you want out on your plate. If you take too long to debate, you may find you are eating bait. If you should cross the swampy bogs, over quicksand and fallen logs, you'll find where the mugwugs hide. The hollow trees they live inside. You better not go near their trap, for they'll close their jaws shut with a snap. But if you don't get caught at all, and you can find their treasure haul, you can steal the mugwug's treasure. You can lead a life of leisure. And with all the gold you keep, you can make a bed and fall asleep.
Was awesome.
And I'm hoping. Oh, but that's okay to overperform. We forgive you.
But it felt good.
Does it though sometimes?
Don't you feel so young, man?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Ready to go to Greenville.
I feel like a teenager. I feel like breaking out into a song from some movie musical.
And what press do you run, my darling?
Put ahead.
Buttonhead press.
I think I might be going to see the Book of Mormon in the spring.
Really?
It's coming back to town.
It's coming back?
Coming back.
Well, that was hysterical.
Yeah, it's one of the best musicals I've ever seen.
Very, very fun.
So everybody should go see it.
Well, even if we already did.
Pay the 80 bucks.
It was cool to see it. It was, and I'm hoping. But this is not me going wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more because I am saying more. But if there's any chance that anything would be posted to the periodic tables, because there's a consideration that they might be considered for a pushcart as a giant collection. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on with that, so I'll have to find that out in a month or two. But that's irrelevant. I just think it would be triple plus awesome to have Pudd'nhead having chapbooks of, I don't even remember what the ideas, the titles are, but I don't know what his plans are or anything, but that's just me batting big eyelashes and thinking that's awesome. And now, this is what I love about this open mic, because we welcome everybody, including people who are like, well, yeah, I've never read you before, and I might read, and yes, I've got poems, and I might do them in different ways, and I just have them on a piece of paper, and I'm like, Shamus, you're awesome. So, I am going to want everybody to scream like a big freaking idiot. Is Shamus out there? I can't even see you, my darling. Is Shamus McGill? Give it up! Give it up for Shamus! Come on, everybody!
Thank you.
Let's go, Cari.
Thank you very much. So I just wrote a couple of these over while I was sitting over at the bar.
Talking to the
My
mic.
first
Talking
one.
to the mic.
Sorry.
There's a microphone.
My first one is it's about my landlord. He's really creepy and he creeps me out a lot, and it's called What's Your Schedule? As my landlord wiggled out his door, I looked up in horror. A slimy stream of words poured out his beak. What's your schedule? I feared the inevitable because he was eventually going to figure out my schedule. I responded, hey Bill, mind your own fucking business.
True story.
Yeah, these all are true stories. So this is Bridgeport. That's what this poem is about. Bridgeport, California, the worst place. You never want to go there ever.
Versus Bridgeport.
I was up for 48 hours in the desert. As the chopper came inbound, I had nothing but a frown. I'm going 12,000 feet above altitude. Goodbye, oxygen. I dreaded the first herd in case the Marine Corps hasn't heard. Where's the deep woods mosquito repellent? I doused it on my butt, but didn't have any luck because I got eaten alive anyway. The end.
All right.
Very good.
Give it up one more time for our newbie and all of the open mic quotes. Come on. Yeah.
Sounds like a rowdy fucking Chicago bar in here.
Well, he's the one that's making you guys all go shushy because Jerry Pendergast has a poem that was in a past issue of cc&d that is also in the annual collection book. So please, give it up for something from Need to Know Basis. Give it up for Jerry Pendergast.
Proving points. Statements, counter statements exchanged. Quotes from internal rule books. He sends out emails for events. She's reading on the living room couch. He finishes a short story in their bedroom. Here's her yawn while reading an essay. He tries to sleep. Her slow sigh from the living room couch holds his eyes open. She walks in, changes into her nightgown. He tries not to look, turns over. Thank you.
Thank you. You're awesome. Thank you very much. I'll try to lean and I hope I'm all right. I want to give a brief thing about the remaining features. Is that all cool? Gary, you're awesome. Remaining features in 2014. In 2 weeks from now on November 5th. We've got a double feature. You heard Dan Weinberg before, but you get to hear us a feature and Deborah Rosen on November 5th. Aw, triple plus awesome. But on November 18th, we've got Cotton Campbell. You know, she's a solo feature, and I'm beginning to think that if GPA, the Poetica himself, couldn't make it here, maybe he could share a space with her. Not quite sure, but maybe we can pull that off. December 3rd, we've got a double feature night with Michael Hogue and Dallas Nas. And then on December 17th, that's a bonus one. We've got Jeff Helgeson that's actually performing a play in the moment. And for everybody who wants to know about 2015 features, within a week's time, I'm going to have the schedule up and I'm going to be posting it out to the cafe list. And if anybody wants to be on the cafe list, go online to www.calicards.org/thecafe and say, hey, I want to be on that list. And you can find out and you can ask to be a feature for 2015 as well. And thank you all so very